Click links to my channel here over at SubStars or now over at Odyssey. So Jennifer Love Hewitt and motherhood. The précis of this is young men are supporting these idealized visions of women financially in parasocial relationships, digitally online with e-girls, to the detriment, the Twitch thought type of thing, of their own relationships and white birth rates. And the thing with first world nations is they destroy all birth rates of all ethnic groups, but obviously only European Americans are of concern to us because there's no America without white people, and that's not politically correct to say, but it's also the truth. So if we want more white babies, we can't insult white mothers who have 3 white babies. That's insane. We have to celebrate motherhood and put them on a little bit of a pedestal so we can encourage young women to get married and have families. The way she was responded to is like our behavior around this needs to be completely re-examined. This kind of casual cruelty. So what happened was, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I guess they're remaking that movie. There's a video of Jennifer Love Hewitt. There's some kind of award ceremony with all the original actors. I guess they're doing a remake like 30 years later or something. So she's 46. I have never seen that movie. She's 46, mother of 3. But I've seen all the parodies about I Know What You Did Last Summer. And she gained weight, which isn't great, but it also doesn't require us to comment on it. It's just none of our business. And this response this thing went super mega viral, as well as the couple who got busted at some rock concert. They were cheating on their spouses. And because we have entirely the wrong narrative around youth and motherhood, where we want women to get married and have 3 kids or more, and that doesn't happen if young girls look at the hate that mothers get after having 3 kids and predictably usually gaining weight. If society hates on white mothers, then we're going to get fewer of them, and that's exactly where we are. We're having these collapsing white birth rates, and it's coming from a lot of these idiot guys on Twitter who don't have 3 kids themselves. Obviously, they never gave birth. They don't know what the hormones are like, and repeatedly having a bunch of kids. And Jennifer Love Hewitt had her kids in her 30s, starting in 2013. She met somebody on a movie or a TV show or something, and it was the right guy, and so she finally started having kids at like 32, and she pumped out 3 of them, which is amazing. Better late than never. And it's like the Nick Fuentes tweet about they saw JD Vance jogging after his kids, and anyone who has kids knows that jog. Your kid is about to get into something stupid, so it's not like life or death, otherwise you'd be screaming and running. It's just something stupid. He's going to do something stupid. Fall off a swing, and he's going to be crying for 15 minutes, so you just want to cut that off and go save him from himself, and everyone knows that jog. It's but then you see like somebody like Fuentes, who's like, I don't know, 27 or something. He's a single guy who's never had a relationship. It's weird to hear that person comment on relationships or marriage. It's like, this is clearly not what you know. Most people by 27 have had 10 years worth of relationships with the opposite sex. And the thing is, if you're a woman and you had 3 kids and you stayed in shape, and there's a fair amount of women who have, or in guys too, nobody should get out of shape, but it's all, it's none of our business. Fair enough. You want to criticize, I guess that's fine. But the guys, especially these young single guys who have been brainwashed into cruelty, into thinking that women must remain skinny sex toy cum dumpsters because their mind is completely warped by the adult industry type of videos. That's a weird elephant in the room, is that you look at that, how much harm that industry has done to not just the people in it, but the people around it, people watching it, and you go, oh, that doesn't really seem to be covered under free speech. I mean, it's not political expression of any sort. It's not communicating any message. It's weird how we just, and children have access to it, like the most horrific stuff, and it's weird how we just let that slide, and it's not a whole lot of effort to shut that down. And the other thing that's going on here is it's really easy to troll people on social media, and like, have I done this before? Yes. Obviously, if you look at my Twitter, I don't delete any of this stuff. It's fun to troll. It's fun to troll left-wingers, and there's something going on here with guys who are trolling women who are very sensitive about gaining a pound or 2. And the thing is, like, if you're a woman, you really shouldn't be falling for that kind of bait. Like, just if you ignore these kind of tweets, like, it just takes the oxygen out of the argument. But the thing is, guys have been brainwashed into saying stupid things online without thinking of the long-term consequences. We need white babies. White European Americans make America what it is. And Jennifer Love Hewitt, I don't know her ethnicity, kind of looks vaguely Italian. She's the mom of 3 white babies, and these idiots on Twitter are making fun of her. Yes, obviously she got fat. I'm sure she's well aware of that. If she wants to lose 30 pounds or something, it wouldn't take her that long to do it. All she has to do is cut carbs or calories. But that's not our business. Encouraging more white people to have babies and get tribal and start families and communities and networks, that's very much our business. And making fun of a mom who has 3 kids is beyond stupid. You know, this I put the other version of this on the other platform, SubScribestar. It's kind of right on the edge of what YouTube is cool with, because YouTube doesn't want European American families or white babies at all. Google. And we can increase white birth rates simply by promoting the idea and praising women who have kids. It just as Sigmund Freud's nephew Bernice wrote about advertising, and its repetition of a message is simply the most powerful tool. But the problem is, well, we don't have networks to get these kind of centrally, like, pro-European type of messaging out there. In fact, no Republican will even mention the percentage of American voters who are of European origin. It's like this weird blank spot on the map where there's coalitions for, or not PACs, what do they call them, caucuses for every different group except for the European Americans, who are the ones who essentially made America, like, breathed it into existence. And I know that offends a lot of people, but I can offer you the proof is to simply look at people's areas of origin and say, well, do the math on that. The thing is, women are supposed to get married and have kids young, and encouraging that requires a little bit of propaganda and positive narrative about motherhood, tribalism, and many other things. So, like, dogma on this can be loose, but there have to be directions to move in to get people to focus on families, and how people get there is up to them. Some people can do the trad cottage core type of stuff. They seem to make up a fad on that kind of stuff every other month. And for a lot of people, it's sort of LARPing. It's just a way for them to make YouTube videos about gardening and canning and that kind of thing, which is an alt-right dog whistle. If you want your people to survive, and you want more European American families, and you want them to have their own networks where they help each other out, like every other ethnic group does, that's an alt-right. That's a far-right dog whistle. It's like, well, but what are all these other groups, aren't they? And the thing is, ultimately, you just don't have to have the argument with these people, or take them seriously, because they hate you, they hate your tribe, and you can just consider them. I mean, when somebody is like, these groups are obvious. It's like ADL types are just the worst at this kind of hypocrisy. So you look at them and go, oh, you're hypocrites, and people don't really understand gaslighting to that extent, where they're telling you one thing that you should do, but they're doing something else. So white people can be trad or not, it doesn't matter, but making babies matters quite a bit, and that requires shifting the attention from praising where we are now, single young women who don't have kids, into praising mothers. And the whole focus of young women is fascinating, because Hollywood and the media in general have done to women and motherhood and family what they did to Christmas over the decades. It's like, well, they've ruined everything, because ultimately they don't want Euro-American families. And for the evidence of that, you can just take a look at TV shows and commercials, and you see what they promote. They promote, we'll say, mixing of different tribes, and it's like, well, what does that create? Well, it doesn't create, it's like diversity. The only way you have diversity is if you keep different groups separated. If you mix them, you got neither one or the other. You've just destroyed actual diversity. That's an example of gaslighting. It's, what they told you in the 60s, 70s, is they need to lower the population. And then what happens is, they simultaneously in the 60s opened the borders to high birth rate, oddly enough, high carbon footprint, polluting people to replace you. It's like, oh, that's not a conspiracy theory. That actually happened. It's Hart-Celler in 1964 or 65 or something. And Europe has had their various versions of that as well. The other thing, I'm saying this as carefully as possible to do this for YouTube. Like I said, the other videos on Odyssey, BitChute, to SubScribestar. The thing is with tribalism is there used to be ceremonies in tribalism for young virgins who they came into womanhood, they became women, and then they were starting to become open for marriage. And different cultures around the world do it. Latin America has it at 15, and Americans used to do like a sweet 16. What do they call it? Like, was it like a coming out ceremony for? It was like in the South they did that, where they presented the girl. It meant she was, I think it meant she was open for invitations, and they did that like it's probably like 15 or 16, and the Mexicans do the quince año. And that was done young, and like most of the world considered that, she's, ready to be paired off and married. And I know that's not a comfortable conversation for a lot of people, but like, if you want to increase birth rates, you're going to have to re-examine that. And I know I just lost half the audience when I said that. The thing is, feminism, by the promotion of feminism by globalist media, has destroyed all of that. They push the idea that virginity didn't matter. In fact, they've used women's magazines since the 70s to push the idea that women should have as many partners as possible, which destroys pair bonding. Sex is supposed to be special. And yes, all this stuff I'm saying applies to men, but obviously I focus on women because I know women better. I know that, like, why would I focus on men? Women can make videos about men, but I'm not saying this doesn't apply to men. But like, there's only one gender that can carry the child, and that's the harsh reality. That's just the biological reality. And it's also kind of wonderful when you think about it. But no, women should not have as many partners as possible. Neither should men. And young girls, they're pushing like Cosmo articles. This is like from 20 years ago about how to have alternative forms of sex to prevent pregnancy and that kind of thing. Like, real graphic stuff. And they're teaching this, like, was it like a Cosmo youth? Like, Cosmo was for like, I don't know, adult women, but they had this younger, like, Vogue young lady or something. They're promoting like backdoor type of activities to teach young girls how to do like just the most degenerate Luciferian stuff. And I'm not saying, listen, you're married, you're an adult, whatever you want to do in the privacy of your own bedroom, dress up like clowns and spank each other. It's like, that really doesn't matter, because it's like it's private and you've already got kids. It's like you're already contributing to the tribe, but there's no need to teach girls how to have anal sex. Like, teenagers, that's friggin', the ones who are into that already know about it, and the ones who are not don't need to promote it to young women. And the equivalent for men is the adult industry, because children have access to that kind of stuff now, and young men have been absolutely ruined with these expectations about what women should be into and what they should look like. And it's like, that we allow that, it just will never be weird to me. It's absolutely degenerate. But the extension of prawn is the e-girls, and there's there's a spectrum of prawn. On one end is, actual XXX type of stuff, and then the other end is various forms of e-girls. And this next part isn't going to be popular, but I'm 14 minutes into it, is that includes e-girls on the right wing as well. And there's a spectrum of right wing e-girls, ones who are legitimate, and then ones who are just kind of, they're just catching the breeze and going with what makes money. And for e-girls of any type, it's men's money that makes it possible for these women to do live streams and be childless in their 30s. And I'm not going to name names, and don't name any in the comments. But if the men stop donating to these women, the women are more likely to get married and have kids. If they look at these scenarios and they go, oh, there's no way for a single woman to make money on these kind of live streams because there's just no men are going to support them because it's, haram. There are women who have kids, like Lana Locktiff, I think Radix, and there's a few others who have children. Okay, that's a different story. They've done their part. They're part of the community. But subsidizing single women online is not helping us. Men have these parasocial relationships with these women's voices that they hear, and they need to have their own girlfriends and spend their own time and effort in talking to a real life carbon human woman, and learning, the rose and the thorns of an actual relationship. So no man should be supporting women online, because you should be so busy with your girl that it's like, it doesn't, you look at that, it's like, is it kind of cheating? It's Yeah, it's dirty. It should be viewed, as, I don't know, as a low class type of thing. And I mean, the worst end of the spectrum is like the girls in the bikinis type of stuff, where they're like the hot tub streams for Twitch, or who was that TV show? The girl's in like a ball pit type of thing, and then she has her OnlyFans and Twitch and all that kind of nonsense. I mean, that kind of stuff is absolutely pathetic. And then you look at the guys who are supporting that, and you go, "Oh, you're fat." Like 99% of the time, the guys are fat and out of shape, because it's not Chad who's lifting weights and jogging, has got a healthy relationship, hiking through the woods, who's supporting these e-girls, at least not 99% of the time. It's they show these videos of their biggest fans, paid women hundreds of $1,000s, and they meet them, and these guys are always 100 pounds overweight. It's like, well, that's why you have a parasocial digital relationship, is simply because you're overeating. It's like, a lot of it really is that simple. The same kind of philosophy applies to the left-wing Antifa types, where if you look at them and go, if you put them on like a diet and exercise program, put them in a camp for like 4 months, they would come out of it fit and lean. They just wouldn't be as far left anymore, because what they put out in the relationship is what they get back. The point is that we're in Weimar, and everything is upside down, where young men are supporting these idealized women financially in these parasocial relationships to the detriment of their own relationships. And as a result, we've got a white demographics currently down to about 55% of the population. The last census a few years ago was 57% officially, and I look around, I suspect it's lower than that. And the next census is probably going to be down to 50. And the thing is, America just can't be America unless those numbers increase. Everything that America was created by European Americans. There's more to it than this, obviously, but not allowed on YouTube. Even this, like, might have been, I don't know. I'm sure. Might have been too much. But like, comment, subscribe. You can join the Odyssey or the SubScribe, the various other links, and I will see you guys all next episode.